Ladies and gentlemen, everyone around and in between, it is DebateSensei CEDA edition, where we talk about things relevant to competitive cross-examination debate. I have Devin Cooper, Director of Debate for California State University, Long Beach. Thank you so much, Devin, for being here.
Welcome.
Excellent. So I'm Jared Kubik-Miller. I'm a professor of communications, a debate coach, and just an enthusiast. So what we're talking about now is a recap of the Wake Forest tournament. I have to admit, I feel a little bit like an idiot. I've never been to Wake Forest, and I was actually surprised that it was in North Carolina. So I had no idea. I'm like, oh, that's in the South? It sounds like a Midwestern sort of name, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, so I was looking over those results, and a little bit of congratulations are in order for Long Beach, if I am to understand. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So Long Beach made it to quarters. Now, making it to quarters, that like you walk away. I understand everyone's going for the first, everyone's going for the one. I get it, but afterwards, when you're reassessing your performance, quarters is a victory, right?
It is. I mean, last year we got the semis, but
Okay,
quarters is okay.
that's
Yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough.
but we also got the first place speaker second year in a row, and we got the third place speaker.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting. Okay, all right, cool. So excellent. That's great. That's great. But let's take a look at. I didn't look at the overall number of entries. Do you know that offhand?
it was like 130 something,
Oh man. Oh.
or they could have dropped throughout the tournament, but I know it
Okay.
started at like a high number around that end.
All right. And they broke to double ox.
Hmm.
I was looking at some of the larger breaks. It looks like Emory kind of stood out. They got 4 breaks.
Yeah, they brought a lot of teams.
Tell me a little bit about Emory. What do you know about their program?
Well, they are a little bit a mix now because they used to. I was actually 129 teams, but they're actually like a mix. But most of the historical notions of Emory has been like traditional,
Okay.
hardcore, straight up. But now they have like some people that do some K things, right? But I think they're predominantly their team is like mostly traditional, straight up debate.
Okay.
Um, they're pretty good. They won the tournament, so
Yes, that is true. Yeah,
and they took us out of the tournament.
right.
Both tournaments, the last two tournaments, they took
Oh,
us
okay, okay.
out.
Okay, I get it. Man, I have a
Yeah,
story about that too. It was someone from Wyoming and previously Modesto. He transferred, and we kept on hitting each other at really critical rounds. Yeah, and we'd just be knocking each other out. Anyways, um, I was looking at the results, and it's weird because like the brackets don't seem complete once they get around the quarters. Is like whoever. I mean, Long Beach faced Emory, but it doesn't show Emory. But that might just be a glitch. I don't know.
possibly, but they were also doing like the bracket like on a dry erase board, like
Oh,
beforehand.
oh, were
Yeah, they
they?
were just doing it so people could show it because the thing is that they had to do like the side equalization to make sure that people were getting the right amount of sides because they weren't like flipping.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Um, okay. Some other big breaks. Now, Dartmouth was interesting. Did Dartmouth have a hybrid team?
Not sure.
It
Did
said
they?
Dartmouth / Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah. Because they probably have they probably made themselves into like a cohort, which
Oh,
is, or I think that's what it's called. It's like a not that. It's not called a cohort. It's called like a consortium where
okay.
they put the teams together, and so they kind of attend each other's practices and stuff like that because
Mm,
their team didn't have a team. So I think it was because Penn didn't have a team like a coach, and so
right.
Dartmouth is coaching them. The same thing with Harvard when it comes to UMass, and
Okay.
I think it's another school that they do it with. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. A consortium. I want to know more about that because it seems like
Mhm.
that might be a good model to use.
It is when you don't have like a lot of resources and there's a
Well,
school.
especially if one central one kind of does have a lot of resources and it can provide and kind of share those resources.
Yeah, it's kind of like if Cal State Long Beach got into a consortium with LBCC, you know.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, heck, with even Santiago Canyon College, we're close enough. We're just down the freeway. You know what I mean? And so it's, well, I mean, but we both got budget, so.
Yeah, but the problem is that one of the schools can't have a coach, like a full-time.
Right. All right. Anyways, I'm interested now. Yeah, I'd like maybe in the next half of the season talk about consortiums. That would be, that's my first run-in with it. I'd love to know more about that. Okay, so that was interesting. What's up with, and so Georgetown has 3 breaks. What are they like?
Mostly traditional, but they have a couple of K teams.
Okay.
I think one of their K teams was the last one in. Georgetown ZZ, I believe, and they went against Iowa. And so that round was Iowa breaking their curse of losing at Octos.
Oh, I see. Okay, they've developed a pattern, huh? That they finally
a little bit, and it sucks because it's usually us that they would go against.
Got it.
We don't want to go against them. We like them. We like them a lot.
Okay. Who else we have? Wake Forest has 3. Okay, and I think you've mentioned them before. They're pretty much up the gut, right?
Yeah, like they were in the final round as well, but there's I don't know the number because I don't know how their team operates, but I think that it would technically maybe be their second team. I would think maybe got to the finals, and then their first team got taken out by Emory and KR.
Okay, so I was looking at some of the big upsets in the because we can't.
There were many.
Okay,
there were many.
Okay, so we're gonna. So instead of going over every single round, let's do some upsets starting on the double aux. The first one I saw was Georgetown. That was that's a big one. Yeah,
big one. LW.
Georgetown ZZ over Harvard OG.
Oh yeah, I mean that. I wouldn't say that was a big upset.
Oh, okay.
I think they're both like kind of like on the same ish level.
So I was looking at the brackets, and they seem to have one of the wider differences where the
Oh, you mean like based on seeds?
Seeding, right?
Probably, yeah. But I would say that those 2 teams are kind of like steady, even kind of.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what would you say would be the first big upset of the octafinal double aux?
Well, I think it was Georgetown LW, right? Maybe
Georgetown LW. Oh, Michigan. Oh, right, and that's online. So
one of the teams, yeah, but that was big upset.
Oof, it was, huh? Okay.
Yeah, because Georgetown has been in like the final round twice, at least. So.
Yeah. So do you know what happened? Was it just
I don't.
Okay.
Because I'm focused on trying to get my kids.
Yeah, of course.
But and I wasn't judging that round. That's probably not a round that I would be judging because I don't think that Michigan State preps me at all. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
But Georgetown does. Like I judge Georgetown quite a bit.
Right. I see. Wow. Okay. So that was a big one. Then we had that one. As far as the seedings go, I'm not seeing too many upsets according to seedings. Is there any other upsets from? You said there was a bunch. Is there more in the double aux?
Probably later on in the tournament. Yes.
In the aux.
Yeah, and then the quarters.
Oh, right. So it seemed like once you get into octafinals and quarters, it seems like the randomness always goes up, right? Because any one of those teams can beat any one of those other teams at that point.
At some level,
Okay.
Yes, but there was some qualitative differences
Oh, okay.
that existed in a couple of these debates here that
Okay.
got a little bit eesh.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go out there and just name the main one.
Yeah.
Michigan got beat on topicality by Harvard CC, team of freshmen.
Oh, that's I see.
Most. I was like,
Whoa.
oh, yikes.
Oh, so what is it? Like, I hear that there's like some fairly decent topicality arguments on no first use.
Well, so I don't know what the topicality argument was, but I just know
Okay.
that in the hallway, the chatter was just like they went for tea.
Oh,
And
and they
yeah.
won. Oh.
And it was like a 5-0 decision, wasn't it? I think.
I mean, I could pull that up pretty quick, but
And I
that
was just
was
like, oof.
in the Ox.
Because it's crazy because Michigan had just won Harvard, I think, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Michigan won Harvard.
Yeah. 5-0. Yeah.
So that was
Yeah,
that
5-0
was
neg.
big.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big upset. Big upset. That was a big one. That was a big one. That was a big one.
Okay.
That was a
That
big one. That's
is
probably the biggest.
okay. Okay. But there's more in the octafinal round.
I think so. Well, where's Dartmouth, BC? I think
Dartmouth BC's against Texas.
That wasn't that big of an upset because they were like both first round bid teams.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're seeded 8 and 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it was Iowa over Georgetown. That's not an upset necessarily, though, right?
No.
No. Okay, and then I don't see. This is one where it doesn't show who won against Michigan State versus Kentucky.
It was Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay.
And Kentucky's the first round, so
All right.
I don't know.
And then we had so we had Wake Forest, and in this situation, both Wake Forest and Emory. So is this one of them just decides to move on?
Wait. So
Wake Forest RL versus Wake Forest SD.
no, they changed it. They broke the brackets, I believe.
Oh, and that's why. Oh, okay.
Because Wake RL went against Emory MP, I think.
Kentucky GD.
Oh, Kentucky. Yeah, they went against Kentucky. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think in that round, Kentucky went for sovereign power good or something.
Okay.
Yeah, they were trying to impact Charney Ave.
So Wake Forest picked that one up though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Wake Forest versus Michigan State, and Wake Forest picked both of them up. I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, you got two teams in quarters. That's pretty damn impressive. All right. We got. Why does it say 3-0 AF for Emory versus George Mason? Why would they only have 3 judges?
Well, they had 5 for the first rounds, and then they had 3, and then it was random.
Huh.
I don't know why, but yeah.
Okay. Huh. I didn't know you'd do that.
Yeah, because we had a 5. We went against Kansas RS, and that was a 5-0 decision for us. It was like, oh, yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. For the for the neg. Look at that. So what was that round about?
So we went for abolition security argument, like abolition security K. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty much a more racialized security K argument against their, I think it was no first use, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
First use AF. No first use was China, was their AF.
Versus China. I got you. I follow.
Yes. Like we agreed to have a no first use policy with them.
Right. Okay. What are they going for in that story when they say no first use against China?
Well, because they were saying that if we take our hands off of aggression with China, it allows us to cooperate on other issues. It allows there not to be miscalculation right, or any accidents, because we've taken our stuff off of high alert, and so does China. And so
Mhm.
they're like, China already has like a no first use policy in general. And so that if we decide to have a no first use policy with them, it will make them not want to modernize or proliferate, or, have a risk of miscalc based on them trying to build up their nuclear arsenal and conventional forces.
Mm. Okay. So, and how does the abolition security K work into that?
Oh, we just said that they're like that people are still going to build up their arsenal, that is still steeped in militarization
Right.
because we
Okay.
still have conventional shift, all of that stuff. We were saying that we should reject nuclear weapons and abolish them in general because
Okay.
they are a risk to humanity. And so we were saying that we just embrace a form of pedagogy that says that nuclear weapons should not be a thing. And of course, we had to beat back, the idea of fiat. We were like, no, yeah, it's not really going to happen. And even if it does, there's some bad things that happen. And I think they also were saying that they lead to disarm.
Mm.
And so we were like, no,
Okay.
actually,
I
what they're
see.
gonna
Yeah.
do. Yeah, and it was like the AF eventually said they led to disarm. And we were like, well, that's not going to actually happen, because you're always going to have this instance where you're like, oh, China, oh, North Korea, oh, Russia, we're going to disarm later on until we get rid of these threats before that. And so they call this argument the tragic disarmor, is that
Mm.
like people will constantly, say, oh, I'm down for the disarm and get rid of nuclear weapons, but they never do it because there's political and geopolitical strategic interests that exist that allows them to keep on deferring that disarmament to later on.
I like how that still kind of works on a policy level. That like it just on a policy level, like it's just a really good no solvency argument, right? It is like to some degree, it's like that's kind of part of the story. But then all the extra critical pedagogy that's on top of it kind of like it creates that offense, right? It creates the reason why you're going to tilt toward the negative. So I get that argument.
Yeah, I don't have my teams go for like arguments that are just not interacting with the AF, because you have to.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's the only way to have like good clash, and also engagement with the affirmative, and give the judges something to actually latch on to.
Right. Right. I like it just kind of works on a lot of levels. It's pretty cool. So none of these others were upsets at all. We got who else? I said Georgetown and Iowa, Emory and George Mason, Emory and Kansas. Oh, we still have two Emorys and two Wake Forests in quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly! Dartmouth and Texas.
Yeah,
Texas.
Texas won, I believe, right?
Yeah, yeah, they
Oh,
did.
the other upset I think is like, I mean, I don't know if it's upset, but it was ish. Is Harvard beat Texas, right?
Harvard beat Michigan. Yeah, yeah. Wait,
Harvard
was
beat.
that? Well, was that to? Yeah, we were talking. We were just finishing up the octas right now, but then Yeah. So in quarters, that's a good transition. So Harvard does beat Texas in quarters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because this
Uh,
Harvard team is like two freshmen.
right.
I
Right.
mean,
Well,
they're not just like any freshmen though. I think they were like in one of them won the TOC or something, and the other one was in the
oh,
first
okay.
round
Right.
against them. So yeah.
Do you know how that went down? That round?
I think I do. I think was Harvard affirmative.
Yeah. And this is
Yeah, I
one where
think
like everyone
Texas.
gets yeah.
I think Texas went for like some anti-blackness based argument, I believe,
Oh,
from what I heard. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what people were saying, that they were going for some like anti-blackness based scholarship.
mm, and just didn't go over, huh?
You know.
All right. Then there's we'll get to y'all last. Hold on. Let's do Emory Wake Forest. This is Wake Forest picking up on Meg.
It was this Emory MP, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's Emory's second team.
okay. And Wake Forest RL picks up on that one.
That's their top team.
Okay. So that might have been kind of expected there, huh? But then Wake,
Maybe.
maybe? Okay.
It depends, because sometimes people have really good strat.
Right. Right. Iowa and Wake Forest. Wake Forest picks up on a 3-0. Why are they going down to 3-0 in
I think
quarters?
it's judge availability.
Oh, really?
I mean, that's probably part of it, right? Because it's like hard to keep a sustained 5 judges
Okay.
like throughout as it dwindles down, you know?
Do y'all have that
Because
requirement that you're obligated one round past your last
I
team?
think all judges were obligated to act those.
Oh, you just draw a line right there. Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
I think it was all judges are obligated throughout octos and even one round out after you're out, I believe.
Okay.
So, because it's like a big tournament and we want those 5 judges. So I think that's why they do the 5.
All
I mean,
right.
you're obligated through octos. Yeah.
The other Wake Forest picks up as well. So they represent half of the semis.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They're on the neg as well. Do you know what happened there?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I didn't hear too much about that. I think, yeah, I heard something about like they found out something about one of their authors or something. I can't
Oh,
remember. And they
okay.
like used his author indict against them. But I don't.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if like Wake Forest just came up on something before this tournament, wow.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are doing that actually.
Oh, okay.
Like they're looking for stuff that people's authors might have done that's messed up, or if there's allegations against their author, like all types of
Mhm.
stuff. It's like, okay.
All right, then there's Long Beach against Emory, and they dropped on a split decision. What
Yeah, it
happened?
was 2-1. So Emory went for framework,
Okay.
and their 1 and C was like a bunch of stuff, but we specifically made a voter against them for reading Hedge good.
Mm,
And we were saying like them reading Hedge, especially with the other off case positions, is a bad model of debate because it teaches people how to be like fascist neocons or people that are learning evil tools to do stuff to people that are bad and like to also create bad policy. And so that was one of the main voters that we went for as a main line of offense. And
okay.
so I mean, I think one of the judges really bought it. One of the judges was kind of in the middle about it because they thought that there was some intersection between the framework argument and the subject formation stuff, which I kind of get. The other judge was like, it was some of that, but it was also a bunch of other things. And so, like, for me, I mean, my students really like this other judge. I'm not going to say any names, but I think that for me, I feel like that judge is a bit too ideologically centered
Mm,
in the other way. So I'm just like, I got to move him down at
mm,
this point because we can't keep having the same debate with Emory and like it has the same
okay.
outcome because you're just like a true believer in some of these things, or we didn't say that much enough to win your vote on it because people can like just say apply this across the board or let this filter your entire decision. It's just like then you just cross apply everything. So I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I'm
Right.
wrong, but I just think that that's just a bit too much work you're doing for the other team. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally want to talk about the judge, how you handle that on its own episode.
Oh,
Let's
the ranking of judges.
yeah,
Mhm.
the ordinal system. Yeah.
Yeah, because I definitely think about who would be putting people in certain places and like who will we get this judge with based on their record of looking at who they judge constantly. And so, you know, we have some people that we definitely like to have all the time, and we kind of know what they want us to say in front of them in order to get their ballot. So
Mhm.
I'm sure other people have that too, you know.
Yeah.
So
All right, so that sets up semis. We got Harvard, Wake Forest, and this is the end of the line for the uh, Wunderkinds from Harvard. Um, right, the
yeah, I think in that round, Harvard might have went for hedge good or something.
oh, huh,
Or something, or it had a hedge F or something. I don't know. Something dealing with hedge. And I remember it like I think Wake did the kind of like the same thing that we did to Emory. It was
mm,
just like, it's effed up, she reading hedge good and went all in on that. But I wasn't in that round, so I don't really know. But this is just kind of what I heard from the outside is that there was arguments made about hedge good and that became like the debate. So but it's okay because now I'm just going to help my students innovate this argument a bit more, like how me and my partner used to do it. Because I just think that like me and my partner just had more of a wealth of knowledge about political and international relations because I was a political science major.
right,
So I kind of knew about like a lot of the hedge-based formations that happen over certain periods of time, and I think my students don't really have that yet to
mm,
like know how to fluently just not have cards and just speak about it off the top of their head about
right,
like stuff the United States federal government has done with its military, overthrowing governments, military coups, helping rebel folks to get the people to overthrow their government to promote the likes of capitalism, all that stuff. But I mean, eventually I'll get there. Eventually.
yeah. I remember for my thesis trying to read Gramsci, and I
Hmm.
I couldn't tell you that I remember any part of that. It's been 20 years now. I'm like, wait, what was in those notebooks again? Like I just
Antonio,
been
Antonio
forever.
Gramsci.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, one of his most famous things that exist in debate is the organic intellectual.
Mm.
So a lot of people have used that and thought about that concept. Because
Oh,
I mean, the Louisville Project, were people that would use this idea of the three-tier method, and one of those three tiers was like organic intellectuals, which is modeled off of Antonio Gramsci's understanding of that.
okay, okay. That's also something I wanted to talk about in its own episode. I just saw in argumentation and advocacy. I guess it's like a 20-year
Mhm.
anniversary of Louisville. Is that?
Louisville, yes.
Yeah. All right. So like that deserves, yeah, that deserves its own episode.
Yeah, I've had an article in that.
Nice. So
Me
we
and
got
Louis.
Wake Forest and Emory's the other one, and Neg
Mhm.
picks up on that one too. So that's one Wake Forest team down. Any idea what happened there?
Um, I think Emory went for disad.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they went for deterrence, maybe,
Mm,
or some type of disad they went for.
yeah. Um,
But
I mean, everyone's still running NFU, right? It's like,
well, no,
oh,
Wake just reads like a AF that's kind of like it's in like it's like a mixture between like fiction and a sovereign critique of the sovereign,
hmm,
um, and like some other like stories from like Langston Hughes and folks. And so they kind of say that the sovereign should disarm nuclear weapons or something like that, or nuclear forces.
hmm.
And so Emory is just like, cool. Are you going to say that you don't? Are you going to defend this ads or something like that, right? And so kind of give a shifty answer, and then Emory just goes to this ad, and that's just what it is.
All right. So that leaves finals, and Emory picks up on the neg on this one. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm sure it's framework.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, so Wake is running a critique F.
Most of them do.
Oh, they do. Okay, and they just went for
Yeah.
framework.
hmm I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what else they would have gone for, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what AF that I think that weight team reads. I think it's called the Arid International, like this particular movement, I believe. But I think they probably went for framework for the most part.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at these speaker awards, and Long Beach State first and third, right? Goodness, I
Yeah.
like y'all seem to be on a really steady trajectory for you're setting out goals and you're meeting them. It's really great.
I mean, we're trying.
Yeah.
I mean, based on like the people that we're going against, they're like quadruple the amount of tuition and debate budget than us. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, excellent. So it looks like a competitive tournament. Look like y'all are positioned well to meet all your goals.
Yeah, it was a great tournament, and I definitely thank Wake Forest and their debate team for hosting it.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna give a special shout out to DeMarvin at Wake Forest because he watches, and he was just like,
Oh
"You didn't say anything about me. You didn't say anything about me." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna say hello, DeMarvin." And DeMarvin was like a very crucial part of the tournament. He was
yeah.
there, like working and helping everybody out and hyping everybody up all the time, even though he wasn't debating. So,
Oh, excellent. Hey, Marvin, go ahead, leave a comment. All right, if you're watching this anywhere, any of the platforms that it's on. Next time, like on Monday, I shaved my head for charity, so I'm losing all of this. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm doing
oh,
St. Baldrick's. Yeah, and so I'm gonna probably put the link in the description as well. So I'm going to send the hair to, I believe it's Wigs for Kids, and then I shave it on down for St. Baldrick's, and I collect donations for that.
oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So didn't want to shock anybody, but all right. Well, thank you very much, Devin. I look forward to our next episode.
Welcome.